Hi, good evening. Welcome to the Gaunt Show. Here's the question tonight then. Do the feral, the feckless, the foreigners, and the freeloaders get priority over us? Do you think we're too soft on people who have just come to the country or people who have been here for a short time? Are we too soft on criminals? Your opinion. Do the feral, the feckless, the foreigners, and the freeloaders get priority over those who are decent, silent, and indeed in the majority? I want your views tonight. My name's John Gaunt. It's John Gaunt Live. Got to apologise. The interview I did earlier, many of you have already looked at it. I put it up with the man from Migration Watch, Alp Mehmet. There's been a technical hitch with it, so it's gone down again. I'll put it up again later. I'll talk to you more about that later in the show. But we're live, John Gaunt Live, as we tackle Britain's biggest betrayal. Why are illegal immigrants and new arrivals seemingly being given priority over hard-working British citizens? Or is that a myth? Did you know 40% of universal credit, I think it's 1.3 million people, is now claimed by newcomers? That's an incredible statistic. There's loads of incredible statistics. The amount of people who are on universal credit, because you remember, you can get it if you're in a low-paid job. I'm not slagging off the people who are getting it, but there must be businesses that can't function unless their employees are getting it. Somehow that seems wrong to me. But 40% of this benefit is now claimed by newcomers. Then, on top of that, today it's been announced 50,000 illegals have flooded into the United Kingdom since Starmer and Labour took office. The border crisis, I've said it before, I'm going to say it again, is spiraling out of control. Well, tonight I'm going to expose the soft justice system. Do you see the bloke? He got all his clothes off on a tube the other day. Kids were on it. Women were on it. He was told, put your penis away. He carried on doing it. He told the person who told him this to F off. The bloke kicked him in the crown jewels. A few other guys jumped in. They suppressed him and chucked him off the train, or left him on the platform, should I say, where a police officer off duty arrested him. But guess what's happening now? I did touch on this last night, but I want to really go on it tonight. In soft justice Britain, the police have been instructed by their bosses to track down the guys on the tube, the guys who dealt out the summary justice. Yes, they're now being looked for to see whether they're guilty of affray, guilty of assault. They were protecting women and children, but now they become the hunted. So it makes you wonder, would you bother getting involved if you saw something going on? Or would you walk by on the other side? What is happening to our values in this country? So we're going to expose soft justice, the hypocrisy in Westminster. And we're going to ask, or I'm going to ask, are the feral, the feckless, the foreigners, and the freeloaders getting a better deal than you and me? Don't miss the hard truths. The mainstream media wouldn't touch this subject, and you know they wouldn't. I want to know what you think. 40% of benefits now going to non-UK nationals. 50,000 illegals in since Starmer took power. Hotels for them, nothing for you. Am I wrong to say enough is enough? Should we be putting these people in tents behind barbed wire? I see Kemi Badenoch is now beginning to say that, but why wasn't she saying it years ago? It seems that we treat them like VIPs, like I've got on my banner behind me. I want to know what you think. Give me your comments and I shall read them out as the show progresses. I want to say well done to Dean. He's reposted the stream. Craig Urquhart says, watched it, John. His no-brainer solution mirrored yours, mate. You're talking about the interview today with the man from Migration Watch. Well, you're lucky to have seen it because there's been a technical hitch since then. I'm thinking I'll put it back up tomorrow morning because I don't know whether you can take 2 doses of Gaunty in one evening. But you lot tell me and I'll do whatever you want. There's no problem with it. It's nothing legal. It's a technical hitch. Probably more likely operator error, i.e. me. Right, so I'm John Gaunt. I've had enough of this madness. Have you? Fresh figures today show 40% of benefit claims are from new arrivals. Yes, you heard that right. And since Starmer took power, over 50,000 illegals have poured into Britain. Do you remember he was going to smash his avocado, bash his bishop, somehow get in control? He's failed miserably. You'd think he'd speak to the nation, wouldn't you? But no, he's on holiday, so he hasn't got time. Oh, hold on, though. He's found time today to interrupt his holiday to meddle in Donald Trump's meeting today, well, with Putin later this week. He's been telling Trump not to trust Putin. His actual words are, I wouldn't trust Putin as far as I could throw him. Now, he may be right about that, but there's something rather sniffy of hypocrisy around that comment. Starmer is the biggest liar going. You can't trust a word he says. His approval ratings are out again today. He's never going to get elected again, and he knows it. This makes him wounded, and a wounded, cornered animal is a very dangerous creature to deal with. How come he can make a press statement to talk about Trump? How come he can phone Trump tomorrow or the next day before the meeting with Putin? And what the hell has it got to do with him? Oh, yes, he's in charge of the coalition of the useless. I'm sure Trump's going to listen to him. But what the people of this country need, Mr. Starmer, the people who elected you, the stupid idiots, they want you to talk about the migrant hotels. They want to talk to you about the 50,000 illegals that have poured into Britain. They'll probably want to talk to you about universal credit. And once you've seen my video, it's a real shame that it's been a technical hitch. In that video today, Alp Mehmet, who's the chairman of Migration Watch, says Starmer has no intention whatsoever of stopping the boats. It's an incredible interview. I've put the snippets up already as shorts, so you may well have seen them, and they haven't been affected by this technical problem. But the big long video, and it's 49 minutes, so I'll be guided by you. Do you want me to put it up tonight, or I can schedule it to go out tomorrow morning at, say, 8 o'clock? I think I'll probably do that. You tell me, but it's going to blow your mind when you see this interview. Let me tell you. Right, let's move on with tonight's show. Don't get me started on the so-called justice system. A bloke literally drops his trousers and his pants, exposes himself on the tube. There's women, young women, older women, and children in the carriage. He starts to wang his you-know-what around. Some guy tells him to stop. He tells him to F off this guy. So the guy kicks him in the crown jewels. He then carries on exposing himself and screaming obscenities. So 2 or 3 other guys jump in. You may have seen the video on YouTube and give him a bit of a slap. They then grab him, and at the next station, the doors open. They take him out. They don't throw him out. They take him out and put him on the platform where an off-duty copper arrests him. But guess what? He might have no clothes on, but he pulls out the mental health card. And he basically walks free. Well, he's gone to a hospital. So now the police go after the men who actually stopped him because they think it might be assault. The guy at best was a loony, who should have been locked up anyway, but because of the Conservative cuts, there's many of these people on the streets. I've got sympathy for him if he's genuinely mentally ill, but he shouldn't be on the streets. He's a danger to your wife, your daughters, your mother, your sisters, just like the illegals they've let into the country with no vetting. They're playing, and I've said it before, I'm saying it again, Russian roulette with our, or your daughters, your females' safety. How can the police think it's a good idea to go and get the guys who did it? Hey, it just means if you're on a tube or a train and some yobbo has got the music on full blast, got their feet on the seats, you're not going to say anything. I got assaulted verbally on a train years ago. I talked about it when I was on TalkSport for telling these morons to behave themselves. But no, now the coppers seem to be on the side of the feral, the feckless, the freeloaders, and indeed the foreigners. We've got hotels for illegals, but no room at the inn, whether it's the Holiday Inn or anywhere else, for our veterans. We're chucking veterans out of their homes to put illegals in it. We've got excuses for criminals, benefits for people who've just stepped off the boat, literally, can't even speak our language. They get benefits. Ordinary Brits like you have been told now for too long. I discuss all this with Alp Mehmet from Migration Watch today on that other video. We've been told for too long to put up and shut up. But you know what's happening? The great British public has said enough is enough. That's what those women in Liverpool, those women in Epping, those brave women in Nuneaton are saying. We aren't taking this anymore. We are not going to let our kids be raped and sexually assaulted. That doesn't mean that every single one of these men, or indeed even the majority, are like that. But as I keep saying to you, you don't know who they are. And worse than that, nor does Starmer. Again, Alp Mehmet makes this point. He says there's a problem with too much immigration, full stop. But he actually says the illegal immigration is crazy. You'd never devise a system where people can just come into Britain and we don't check who they are. Have you ever been on holiday and come back and you have to show your passport? How come some Burke from Afghanistan can get in a boat and not have to prove who he is? Doesn't even have to prove his age. Won't have a medical. Won't be checked for TB. And if they're accused of being, I'm a 14-year-old boy. No, hang on a minute. You got a beard. You're about 20 odd. They won't even let their dental records be looked at to check their age. How and who has allowed this free-for-all? Many, many years ago, I came up with the expression, the feral, the feckless, the foreigners, and the freeloaders. And I'm sorry, it's more relevant today than it's ever been in the past. We are soft touch Britain. Do you agree with me? How do we change it? Have you lived in other countries? How are they dealing with it? Because I don't know how long I can go on with this. And the sense of privilege they've got. And they know, I used to say this about travellers. Travellers used to always play the I can't read or write card. Some travellers, yeah. But they know their human rights. They've obviously read that. These people take the piss. It's literally taking the mickey out of you and me and everyone else. And they've been helped for the past few years by the uber liberals in the Conservative Party and in the Labour Party, all part of that political elite where they don't actually go second class on a train. They only go first class and it's paid for. They have chauffeurs. They have government cars. They don't meet it. They don't meet the feral, the feckless, the freeloaders and the foreigners. Well, unless the foreigners are Ukrainian rent boys or Eastern European women cleaning their houses. Oh, that's nasty, Gaunty. Is it? I think it's accurate. I think because they don't live our lives, they don't know what it's like. And I think that's why Britain is a powder keg. I can't believe these figures that I'm telling you about today. I cannot believe it. I'm coming to your comments now. Please, if you want to support me, it's cut-off day today for money in terms of buymeacoffee.com. Loads of people helped out late yesterday. If you could do that again, it'd be brilliant. www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt. Or indeed, you can contribute by just pressing the little button under this video with the padlock if you're watching on YouTube. I think I'm giving value for money. Today, there should have been 2 shows, and for a period there was, and then technical error, operator. I took it down. I don't know how I did it. I've just made a mistake in the heat. I do apologize. I will put it up again at the end of this show or probably in the morning, and I'll put it up as a last live. So you've got it, and then you can comment, because I've got another show already for tomorrow night. The following day, I've already got a pre-record to do. Busy, Gaunty. Please support me. It's got to be worth a $5 of your money. Let's go. Peter Adams. John, the guys being hunted by the police for the tube incident are being hunted because they kicked and hit the man while his hands were up in the air, and he has mental health problems. Absolute bullshit, Peter. I've watched the video many times. He has his hands in the air because he's shouting F off. If he had just stopped the first time when the guy asked him to, he wouldn't have got kicked in the ghoulies. What? You'd sit on a tube, would you, Peter, and allow somebody to do that in front of your wife, your daughter, your sister, your mother? Well, you've gone down in my estimation, my friend, if that's what you're saying. Listen, if he didn't want to kick in, he shouldn't behave like that. And how do you know he's mentally ill? He just pulls out the mental health card. It's the latest excuse of the feral and the feckless and the freeloaders. Can you not see that, Peter? If I've been too harsh on you, feel free to come back at me. But you've wound me up with that comment. You have wound me up. Right. Margie Collins on YouTube. Facebook. I've just been told by a friend, she had a client today, getting her nails and face and spending £350 in cash. She gave her address as a local hotel where we live, or where they live. Well, we don't know if that's true, Maggie, but if it is, it's outrageous. I'd like to know where all the profit's going from these nail bars and these barbers that have set up. I think I know exactly where it's going. Again, it's another example of the feckless, the freeloaders, and the foreigners taking the mick. What about, the guys who've just come in? They get a hotel, they get 50 quid pocket money a week, and they get a bike and a job at Deliveroo. So they're staying in a 4-star hotel whilst our veterans are on the street, and they're picking up £1,000 in the hand by delivering your lukewarm pizza. And if you use Deliveroo or one of those food delivery companies, you're to blame. You've got to stop doing it. Get off your lardy ass and go and buy it yourself. Or, hey, here's a good idea. Why don't you cook your own food? Be better and less chance of getting cancer. Her doesn't want to stop the boats. Who's her? He's a puppet. Oh, gosh, another one of these. He's a puppet to the elites. He's letting these illegal immigrants in, so we are watching our children. Starmer, I think he means Starmer, and his cabinet are setting out the solution set out by the WHO and WEF, the Rest Agenda 2030. Michael, try and engage your brain before you start in conspiracy nonsense. Peter Adams, the guy who's just wound me up a minute ago, he's now saying on YouTube, police in the UK are not respected, and that's their own damn fault. This respect has been lost. Yeah, but not by the boys on the front line. This is the politically correct woke idiots who are in charge of them. Get tough on criminals, not Facebook postings. Well, you're making some sense there. Police the streets, not the tweets. I'm with you on that, Peter. But you've just a minute ago said that the lads, members of the public, were out of order stopping that bloke exposing themselves. You're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. More of us need to stand up to these people. More of us need to be not like in the Good Samaritan story. Get involved. Reclaim the streets. That's why we've got vigilante groups being set up in places like Bournemouth. We don't really want that. We'd like the police to do the job. Is there enough of them? And then when they do get somebody to court, they don't go to prison anyway. And anyway, even if they go to prison, Starmer and his mob of sixth formers are releasing them early. They're looking after, again, the feral, the feckless, the freeloaders, and the foreigners. Dave 101 says they're bankrupt in the UK from YouTube. I think I probably agree with you, my friend. Craig Urquhart says, I can think of another F, John. Can you? Thank you very much indeed. Don't bother putting it up on the screen, though. I think I'm with you. I think our country is starting to fight back, John. We see it every day on YouTube. Do we? Yeah, I suppose we do. There are those videos where people have not had enough. I've had enough and suddenly snap. But you see, again, in this heat, it's so hot today, isn't it? That's probably why I lost my temper with Peter. In this heat, tempers can fray. And I worry about that. But we should all just have a bit more respect. But I think there's a sense of them and us. It's them and us in terms of the people who are in power and us being the rest. But then there's the people down there, the lowlife, the feral, the feckless. You know the people I'm talking about. Dave 101 says a police officer was in the carriage for F's sake. I'm not sure if he was in the carriage. I know when they got the bloke, as I've read it and seen it, they get him off the train, then the copper turns up, an off-duty cop. He might have been. If he was in the carriage, that's an absolute shocker. When I used to go to London every day, often on the train back from Euston to Coventry, and even when I was living in Leamington, there'd be a copper on there. You didn't know he was there, but sometimes, especially the later trains, 7, 8, 9, if anyone got a bit leery, suddenly somebody would stand up and go and speak to him, and then you see the warrant card come out. And I think that's good. And he never was sure whether they were there or not. Hang on a minute. Dave 101's come back saying he was off duty. Listen, there's no such thing as being off duty. If he was in the carriage and he didn't do anything, then he should be up on a charge. Always remember my dad. He was a copper, as you know. And we were driving. I was at university. I'd come back and I don't know why I went to see him. I didn't really like him. But anyway, he was taking me back to Coventry Station because he lived in Nuneaton at the time. It was early in the morning and suddenly the traffic stopped and he looked over and the bloke had been knocked off his bike by a car. And my dad said, oh, hell. But he said, I've got to go and see what's happening. He wanted to get me to the station, him to work. He got out of his car and went over and acted like he should as a serving police constable. So I don't think that's right, Dave. But if it is, I will apologise tomorrow if you can give me the facts about that. But there is no such thing really as an off-duty copper. When you take on the role, the office of constable, it isn't a 9 to 5. It isn't. And I know they've been treated appallingly. But any copper who sees an incident and doesn't involve himself, they're not fit to carry a warrant card. Anyone going to chuck in some cash tonight? Come on, www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt. Well, tonight it'd be better if you paid a $5 for lager. It's a metaphorical drink. I won't be drinking it, but I'll be putting it into the pot to keep these things going. As I say, apologies again. I did interview today the chairman of Migration Watch. He gave me a fabulous interview. I put it up and many of you, about over 1,000 people had looked at it. So that's good. I went back there tonight to put a link on it to this and it had gone. And I'm sure it must be my sausage finger. So I do apologize, but I will put it up again tomorrow. The guy on the tube, it's good he got a kick in, says David Marks. I hope the police don't track him down. If I'd been on the train, I'd have done the same thing. Well done, David. Yeah, I mean, I think they only gave him a kick in because they were trying to suppress him, weren't they? And he was being very, very violent in his actions. So you would. And one guy did kick him in the goose. You can see that clearly. But then he deserved it, didn't he? Let's see what Peter says because he's come back. So he says, John, I was trying to say that guy would not have made it out of the carriage to be arrested in Hungary. He'd have been left a wreck. inside the train. Well, that's better. If that's what you're saying, I can live with that. But it read, Peter, I'm afraid, that you said they were wrong to do it. Because they weren't. It is. John, the guys being hunted by the police for the tube incident are being hunted because they kicked and hit the man while his hands were up in the air. He has mental health problems. I don't care whether he's got mental health problems. He shouldn't have been exposing himself on a train, Peter. I'm sure you now agree with me, don't you? Anyway, it's up to you. Right, let's get back to the agenda. Do you believe that certain people get treated with kid gloves? That's really what I'm asking. And this isn't an invitation to attack all foreigners, because a lot of people have, again, we talk about this with Alp today in the big long interview with Migration Watch. So many people have come to this country and have really contributed. And when you think about it, when they get in that boat at Calais, most of those people aren't thinking, are they? Oh, I can't wait to get there. I'll get 50 quid and I'll get a bike and a job with Uber. I'll do that for the rest of my life. I doubt it. You don't travel halfway across the world thinking that. They just want a better life. And they probably would work hard if they got a job. But we can't have people coming in undocumented. We can't have people jumping the queue. We can't just have a free-for-all. And when I heard that figure this morning, I was in bed and I put my phone on to hear the news. And they said over 50,000. And I went, it can't be 50,000. It was 26,000 yesterday, had arrived now by boat. And then I realised what they were saying. They were saying, not since Christmas, which is where those figures were based on, 26,000, but since Starmer was elected nearly a year ago, or a year ago, just over a year ago. How can he look at himself in the mirror, the way he's betrayed us and the way he's wrecked our society? And then, whilst there is a crisis going on, why isn't he talking to the British public? I said this about Southport. Why didn't he go over to that woman who said, my friend's just been in touch? She screamed and she's lost her daughter. She was talking about, the slaughter in Southport. What did he do? He turned and effectively ran to his armoured Range Rover. He should have gone over and said, listen, I'm the Prime Minister. I promise you, this will never happen again. I will get on top of this. And then he could have made a press conference, because he likes his little bits on the podium. And he could have said, we know who this person is. We know his ethnicity. We know his background. Yeah. We don't want to prejudice the case, but he's not a new arrival. Da-da-da-da-da. And then I don't believe the riots would have been anywhere near as bad. And then, of course, people like Lucy Connolly would not have got put away for 31 months. Did you see that? The bloke who basically said he was gang rape those air hostesses, set them on fire, all these horrible things he said to them. He didn't get 31 months. Listen, those in power, whether it's Labour, the Conservatives, or God help us if it was ever the Lib Dems, they just don't get it. And I think it's because they don't live our lives. What do you think? Going to stop in a minute, so if you want to get on, you need to comment now. John, I think Starmer and Labour want to flood the UK with newcomers. Yeah, I take that, Craig, but to what end? How does that suit them? That's what I'm trying to get to. Are they trying to break our resolve? And the way they constantly think that we're racist. You've got to listen to my interview with Alp Mehmet. He's a Cypriot. So he's an immigrant himself. He came when he was 8 years old. He couldn't speak the language. He ended up being a top diplomat. He was our ambassador, I think, in places like Iceland at one time. Not the shop. That'd be good. I'm the ambassador for Iceland. Do you want some vol-au-vents? Anyway, then he was part of Migration Watch. And I knew Migration Watch quite well because Lord Green, the man who set it up, I was one of the first people in Britain to interview. Like lots of these people you see now on GB News and Talk, it was me who had the balls, the cobblers, the bollocks to actually interview them first. Same with people like Tommy Robinson. People say to me, "Oh, what's your views on Tommy Robinson?" I was interviewing Tommy Robinson when he was still in shorts. Well, almost. Do you see what I mean? And now there's all these brave free speech warriors. Oh, I'm a free speech absolutist. I think you're a twat. Because I think you've got to let people speak, but sometimes you've got to tell them they're wrong. And if they fall out with you, they fall out with you. Just like I said to Peter, he's wrong. I just don't understand it myself. What do you think about Advance UK? Well, I interviewed the interviews there. If you go to John Gaunt TV on YouTube, you'll find the interview, the video I did with Ben Habib. I thought he was a very interesting bloke. And I think he said some very interesting things. And I think he'll give Farage a run for his money. I don't think he'll get elected because I think Nigel Farage is so far down the line. But I agreed with a lot of what he said. But then again, today I spoke to Alp Mehmet. I agreed with a lot of what he said. And some bits I didn't. And, you know, then you have a little bit of a tussle, don't you? I actually said to Alp today, "Are you a racist?" He laughed his guts out. But what he says about Starmer and the whole political class and immigration is absolutely stunning. You might see some of the clips. If you go to the shorts on John Gaunt YouTube, there's some little 10-minute, 10-second, 15-second clips. I'll leave them up, obviously, and I'll put the main video up tomorrow. But please have a look at it when it goes up. It'll be tomorrow. So that's what I think about Advance UK. I think Ben Habib is a very, very interesting man. John, I totally agree with you about that, but be careful with the police. What do you mean be careful with the police, Crag? I don't know what you're on about. I'm not scared of the police. I'm not scared if they knock on my front door. I should be having a word with them. I know my rights. Yeah, so don't worry about it. What's this say? The police are in big trouble. Hang on, I can't see that at the moment. It says Dave. I don't know what you're on about, Dave. 101. We are not tin pot racists, says Nigel Gordon. We are protecting our future and our kids' future. Yeah, that's right. Well, that's why we should make sure we are a little bit guarded in what we say. Don't say all asylum seekers are rapists, because they're not. They're clearly not, are they? Yeah? Many of them just want to get on with their lives and bring their kids up when they ever get them here from Afghanistan. But the bottom line is, it's our problem. Well, it's not ours. It is our problem, but it's Starmer, the Conservatives, it's the rest of them. They're the ones who've done the soft touch, because I don't know any normal people who agree with all this woke bollocks. Do you? Maybe you do. I don't. Denise Deacon, I don't think we can afford to split the vote with reform. Well, Denise, I largely agree with you. And I said that to Ben Habib. And I also said it to the guy, what's his name? You know the guy I'm talking about, the guy, Fair Fuel, Cox, Howard Cox. I said, surely now at this point in life, and in the political sort of structure we've got and the mess we're in, you've got to just compromise. Everyone's got to compromise. Howard Cox didn't want to. Ben Habib doesn't want to. He's very upset at what Farage has done. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to shake down. I really don't. Crag says, thank you for all your hard work, especially in this weather, mate. You're right. And Dave 101 says, a bit of racism will save your life. I don't think so, Dave. Racism's filthy. I don't judge people by the skin color or even their accent, my friend. I judge people by their actions and what they do. And that's what you should do, because otherwise you do become a thick racist. It's just nonsense. It's just absolute nonsense. Just because somebody's got a particular skin color or a particular religion or a particular culture, no, judge them as an individual. Then if they are what you're suggesting, make sure you bring the full weight of law down on them. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. But maybe I'm wrong. Listen, look at my hair. It's a right mess. I'm so sweaty, so wet. I'm going to have to go, I'm afraid. The food's already made. Lisa did it today. So spaghetti in this weather. Starmer hiding behind a law, as Al alluded to, that we can't deport them. Well, change the effing law. Oh, yeah. It's not Al. His name is Alp. Craig's one of the people who managed to see the video before I accidentally pulled it down. And you're right. Alp says that. He says he's hiding behind this law, saying we can't get out of the ECHR. He said it's simple. You have to give 6 months notice, evidently. So what Alp's saying is, as soon as they come back from their holidays, they've got about another 4 weeks, haven't they, the MPs? There should be a cabinet meeting and they should agree we're going to leave the ECHR, then give them notice and then get out. But that isn't it totally, because then you've got all of our judiciary who, as we know, are all anti-Brexit. And there is an element of Starmer. I talked to him about this in the video, that Starmer is punishing us, the white working class. You know, when I say white working, I mean the working class, for daring to vote for Brexit. Probably because in his mind, only white people would vote for it, which is nonsense, of course. It's like saying those protests, or even Tommy Robinson's protests, are all white. They're not. They're clearly not. They're diverse. But the world's just gone mad. The world has just gone mad. Dave, I don't know what the point is you're making. The grooming gang victims weren't racist enough. What do you mean by that? They were raped by monsters. The people who let them down were not just the rapists, were the police who didn't take them seriously, who thought they were just white pieces of trash, like the Pakistani Muslim guys who raped them. That's got nothing to do with racism. That's got to do with the police being pillocks. And I'd like to see them in the dock, just like I'd like to see the social workers who let them out of the children's homes in the dock. There's some stuff going on in Coventry at the moment about a private residential home where kids were just allowed to come and go. That was happening when I was in care in Coventry 40 years ago. And they're still doing it. Dave, I've had enough of you now. I have had enough. What you've just written is filth and racism. Take it down now or you get banned. You get banned, because that word is a disgrace. Did you hear me? You are going to... Oh, I'm just not even going to bother because you're not reacting straight away. There we go. I'll put you in timeout now. Get lost. I don't want racists. I come from Coventry, the two-tone city. I don't want it. Those Pakistani Muslim gangs, it's good that we're now calling them out and describing what they were, but that doesn't mean that every Pakistani Muslim is a rapist. And if you think that, you're racist, and that's stupid. And I don't need you as part of my growing audience. I knew I shouldn't have done one tonight. It's too hot. I'm getting too irritable. I do apologize. I will be back tomorrow at 6:30. Oh, hang on a minute. What are you saying, Craig? John, I have a question. If Starmer and Macron are not the illegal immigrants transport, why send back the dinghies and life jackets back to France? Bit confusing, but I know what you're saying. Yeah, and it's now being revealed or alleged it's a major American corporation who are taking those dinghies back. That needs more investigation before I start to mouth off about it, but it looks pretty disgusting. I agree with you. All right, that's me finished. I'll be back tomorrow at 6:30. I will put the interview up with Alp Mehmet in the morning. I think that'd be probably the best time to give it the best exposure. I am dreadfully sorry that it didn't work today. I do apologize. And if you go to it today now on the links, it's not there. So again, I apologize. Back in the morning. Back at 6:30 tomorrow night. But I'll put up that other interview. You will find it amazing. Make sure you look for it. Don't forget, if you don't want to miss it, go to John Gaunt TV on YouTube and subscribe. Completely free to do that. And then you'll never miss a show in the future, even when I accidentally delete them with my fat sausage fingers. And if you'd like to help me out, make a little donation, press the little $sign, send me some money on YouTube, or buy me a drink, buy me a coffee, or buy me a beer at www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt. Until tomorrow, if you've got kids, give them a kiss, give them a hug. Hey, don't forget to tell them you love them. See ya.